Well, the community
No
came up
cow
with a
level.
solution: a secret chicken level.
And it would be perfect. That's the thing. Is that if they did this, this would be fucking insane. Like, I'm sold. I'm there, man.
Yeah,
I'm totally there.
I'm with you on that.
Because, like, it's not only
on
cow
that.
levels, right? Because in Diablo 3, it wasn't a cow level. It was the Whimsy Shire with, like, those stupid fucking unicorns.
Dude, that
and
was
shit.
cool too. That was awesome.
Hey, it only makes sense
Unicorns, happy
considering
clouds.
that Blizzard
That was
is
good.
working with KFC on
Yeah.
promotions and things. So yeah,
True.
make it happen, Blizzard. Make it happen.
That would be
All right,
so
we got to
fucking
talk
funny.
about what's going on officially. So let's go to Twitter. Yes,
They're not
Rod
gonna do it,
Ferguson
but-
was busy, of course, tweeting out and teasing stuff. You guys may remember this. I told you I would keep an eye on it, but I also warned you, make sure you keep your hype levels in check.
Mhm.
Well, what this turned
True.
out to be was this right here, a music video featuring...
Somebody says not very relatable outside the USA. Wait. I thought that actually KFC was more popular outside of the USA than it was in the USA. Yeah, I'm pretty
What, a
sure
Diablo
that's not
4
even true.
show,
In like some
or-
places, like in it's huge.
If
in
Diablo
Japan.
4
Yeah,
turned into,
there
like,
you
a
go.
show
KFC's
or
all over EU. Yeah.
Movie, that'd be pretty cool. Then
talent
fuck it up.
from the music
KFC's huge
industry.
in China, yeah.
They're going all in on marketing, trying to basically get more eyeballs on Diablo 4, especially those that don't even know what Diablo is. That's what this is about. Marketing 101. Let me tell you what,
Yeah,
they
of
are
course.
spending a pretty penny on marketing this game. I guess it's like half the battle. All right, so next up, we have, of course, that official interview. Check it out right here. Rod's XCast
This build
interview.
sucks,
And
bro.
that is coming from, of course,
He's playing a
Kind
controller.
of Funny Games, as you can see right here. Rod Ferguson with them, and they did actually talk about some very interesting things, of course. Let's break it down, shall we? Also, a very special thank you to Aryan Historian for posting that out on Reddit with a complete breakdown, but let's go ahead and go over it right now. So, yes, first and foremost, goes on to say this. They talk about critic scores 88 Metacritic score of 89 out of 90 open critic.
Who the fuck makes a score out of 90? Just make it out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Rod is very happy about that. And they say live
Yeah,
service
2
allows for more
expansions already in the
content and
works.
seasons
Just
compared to
fucking
Diablo
the same
3,
dungeons
deeper,
over,
richer,
copy
and
pasting
more
the different
content over
zones.
the
Yeah, sick,
previous
man.
Diablo. That is exciting. But guess what? At minimum, it seems
That's
like
the
we
one
are
thing
getting
that's been
2
fucking
big
lame as hell
expansions.
so far. At least in the first, because we basically 100%ed the first zone, minus like a couple dungeons. And there's like one dungeon that just I can't even. I think there's 3 dungeons. One of them is not even on the map, which it's on maps online, and it's for rogue, some rogue like legacy power, and it's not showing up in the maps. I don't know if it like unlocks later and you go back to like the first area, but anyway, yeah, they're all the same. Like they're all the same layout. It's just different name, and it's kind of lame. It's kind of like reminds me of what Destiny did, where they had like, oh yeah, like almost probably just as bad, where it's like go back to the same map, but like now get this other, item there or some shit, or like it was just like you reusing like maps, and I hate that. And Blizzard does that all the time, even in WoW. They do that with their cave system in WoW, and it's lame because once you know the layout of that certain cave, then that's it. There's no secrecy. There's no wow factor. It's just like literally just copy pasted like caves. So in Diablo 4, they literally just copy pasted a bunch of different dungeons. Like maybe like there's like a selection of 5 dungeons. It seemed like 5 to like maybe like 8, and it's just really name change and same layout. So it's a little lame, but yeah. I mean, are we surprised? And by the way, you paid $70 base game if you bought the deluxe plus taxes. At least if you're in New York, it's like $108. So you can imagine if you did the ultimate edition, you paid like $115 or some shit, closer to like $120 or something. Yeah. D4, by the way.
Are already in the works. They're really
there
trying
it
to
is.
keep the flow of content.
And of course, it's gonna be easy to make two more expansions when you're just copy pasting everything. Like, come on, man. The only thing different might be the zones, but like the dungeons and all the shit are the same. It's the same with like, the fucking the Greater Rift bullshit. Oh yeah, all these different combinations of shit, but it was like all the same.
Content going throughout the life of this game, which gets me excited because already you can clearly tell the game is very beefy at launch. They have a complete in-game in the vanilla version of the game itself.
Which is
yeah,
good.
let's keep going. I was on to say this. Reiterates their ability to respond to games requests within hours and days. An example of that was the Necro hotfix for
See,
the
like, that actually is one of the big things that makes me really confident about the game, is the fact that they were able to fix that shit so fast. Because a lot of times, like, this is a problem that, like,
Yeah, but this worries me because it could also just mean that they had that fix, like, already in the works or, like, made, and, like, oh, we can show them that, like, we're actively responsive by just, like, hot fixing it after people noticed and, like, complained about it. But they already had the hot fix ready. But, you know, as a company, you want to look good and responsive. So, like, hey, don't hot fix it. Let's wait. And then hot fix it so people are like, yo. Obviously, get your tinfoil hat on for that one. But, I mean, there is incentive, right? There's a motive, at least.
Blizzard has with WoW, or it used to have at least, is that, like, there would be something wrong with the game, and Blizzard would be like, oh my god, can somebody write that down? We gotta fix that whenever the next expansion comes out. Like, we can't have it just be bugged out like that forever. So whenever this new expansion comes out after this, we're gonna get this done. We're gonna get it taken care of, and that's about it, right? And then by the time they fix it, then something else is broken. So yeah, like, I was actually really happy.
Yeah,
to
don't
see
hold
them
your
fix
breath.
it so fast. Brosman, thanks for your gifted subs, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
hotfix for the Skellies. This, for me personally, gets me
And also, who
excited
cares? 'Cause the
they
end game
run into
sucks.
huge exploits. They can immediately fine-tune things. Of course, again, the worry here is they fine-tune things too often, where you don't even know what you're doing with your build. I think they're going to have to be a little bit cautious about that, but I also think they know that as well. All right, furthermore, it says this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they don't.
I think that they should let things be broken. And especially if they're doing seasons, just leave it alone and then just like change it per season, not immediately during seasons. Especially if you already have gear and you're like getting certain legacy or legendary powers, right? Like if you start messing around with that, people will just stop playing the game. They already don't want to play the game past the first season, so.
Just like do
Even
constant,
Asmon said
like,
that.
every week hot fixes.
By the
That
way.
way you constantly have to like keep up with like what the new hot fixes are and what's been changed. Like, I think that like every season they should do a lot of changes to make different things good and other things not as good, so people don't just play the same build every single time. But like in terms
He
of
said
doing
every
that
new
inside
season, right?
of the league,
Yeah.
that kind of sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Sustainability in development and the importance of correct team structure that allows for sustainable development cycles and building things in parallel. Doesn't want to burn out the team and then churn out a mediocre product. So we've heard rumors that the
Well, that sounds good. You don't want to burn out the team and churn out mediocre profit. Yeah, product. That would be fucking great if we don't have that happen.
team before this, like years ago, was very burned out. I'm hoping that these companies really
sense.
tap into, a way to really listen to their developers. CD
Yeah.
Projekt Red had this problem. They've done a lot of fine tuning to really try to help out because these are talented people. It's tough to find this type of talent to craft.
Yeah, and especially if they're making the game, they usually have a good idea of what they can and can't do, what would work, what doesn't work. So, there's like this kind of like reality versus expectations kind of thing. And sometimes the reality is greater than the expectations. Not always, but when it comes to deciding any of that, like the developers are the ones that are gonna know, yeah, we can do this or we can't. But if they get forced to do something and it ends up being like half-assed or dog shit, like CD, like fucking cyber shit, then yeah, you get cyber shit.
This type of game. It's pretty rare. All right, so let's go on and talk about this one right here. It
Cyberpunk.
says,
For anyone that
Blizzard
didn't
deadlines and how
catch that.
Diablo is approaching Blizzard's normal timelines. That's how they came up with the quarterly seasons. Talks about how they tried to make seasons long enough for casuals to complete the battle pass. So they're trying to cater to two audiences here.
Oh yeah, and I haven't seen the battle pass. I guess it's not out yet because the game hasn't like fully released. But I haven't seen anything about it. But we should have it. We do have it.
Hardcore audience, of course, but they're like, you know, we also know that people are going to be
Well,
playing.
Diablo is mainly, I mean, like, Diablo is an ARPG for more casual players, where, like, PoE is an ARPG for very hardcore players, and it seems like Last Epoch is kind of in the middle there. I don't think that's a big deal. I don't
Never
think
played
that's
Last
a bad
Epoch, so I don't
thing.
know.
I think that's fine.
Especially if you're doing this whole PR marketing scheme, you don't want Diablo to be like hardcore. There's a hardcore for a reason, separate from the casual gameplay. Also different like world tiers. You don't want it to be hard, especially if you're trying to get like, you know, if you're getting the game into like mainstream media and trying to attract a, you know, larger audience. You don't. Yeah. No.
Doesn't mean the game's bad either. It's okay.
Our game are probably working at school, studying, what have you, and are busy with their lives. How do we appease to both? So I think personally they're doing a great job at that. Seems like they're in an interesting middle ground here. I'm not gonna lie, this next one does have me a little bit worried. Goes on to say this: expect hiccups with the cosmetic shop as it launches.
So like, there's a hiccup where like you buy an item and it doesn't work. So like, I guess you have to buy it 2 times. Yeah, that's probably what it's gonna be. You're gonna have to, maybe you have to buy an item like 2 times. It's like, you know, because you have like maybe like 3, 5 times, for sure. Yeah.
It wasn't in a state ready to be used in the beta or server slam. So that's interesting. We'll see what actually happens with this shop. I know already a lot of the prices on the shop are just crazy, ridiculous, like $25 for...
I gotta say it again because people say this every time. I could give less of a fuck how much this stuff is on the shop. It could be $250. I would not care. And it wouldn't matter. And you want to know why?
I'm not buying it.
It's not because I've got a lot of money and I can afford it. It's because I never spend the money in the first place.
That's right.
Who gives a fuck? It's a shop item.
That's right.
If you want to buy something to look fancy and cute in the game, go on ahead. But like, to me, it just doesn't have that same value.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Doesn't matter that much.
What's the point of the battle pass too?
It's just
are gonna just buy shit.
I really just don't give a fuck.
The whole point of the battle pass is for these cosmetics that you're already paying like $5, right, or whatever it is for the battle pass. So why the fuck are you gonna pay for shit in the shop? You're not gonna be able to use all of it, you know. So you're just gonna have shit like on the bench that you're never gonna use, or we just swap it out. Like, I mean, I guess you can, but it's kind of stupid.
It's pay to win. Who cares? Yeah, it's just. Like, I want to have gear and, like, items that either make me look really, really cool, which, like, there's enough in-game items that feel that way anyway, or I want to have something that is, like, really prestigious. So, like, an armor set that's, like, looks good. So, like, I don't really give a fuck if, like, the cosmetics are expensive, because I'm not going to buy them anyway. It's like, I played Fortnite ever since, like, 2018. I don't even have a skin in Fortnite.
Oh, man, I fucked up before Fortnite. I'm not even gonna lie.
Who cares?
I spent a little bit of money on Fortnite.
One skin for one necromancer skin was like an example. But I'm
not as much as some of my
I'm
other
not
friends,
gonna say anything
And they played way less.
until we actually see it.
Just
I have so much stuff to
like
say
a year ago.
But let's keep going, shall we? So, next up we have this right here. PvP is a murder fest. You don't have to play PvP if you don't like it. There is PvE in the PvP zones, but you can always get ganked.
Nice.
You can get cosmetic, achievements through the PvP zones, but again, 100% optional. Now, that might ruffle some feathers, of course.
Tough shit.
Simply because a lot of you guys, I know for a fact, want to be able to have all the cosmetic items, and if you're wanting to do
then you have to fucking PvP.
Like unique.
Nah, bro, like, that's some bullshit. Like, it's not a big deal if you can get a cosmetic from PvP. Who cares? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, it's just like, who gives a fuck? Like, just give them a few nice things. You get a few cosmetics for PvPers. Is this really going to ruin somebody's life? No, it's not. It doesn't matter.
Specific cosmetic
about
items
some
to
dumb
the
shit.
PvP zone. Ooh boy, I don't know. I feel like that might ruffle some feathers for sure, especially if these cosmetic
Yeah,
items
fuck
end up
those
being
people.
absolutely amazing and crazy looking. Then you're gonna be like, why do I have to play PvP? I don't want to have to play PvP to get these cosmetic items. So,
shit.
yeah, that's a little bit of a concern as well.
I think that's so silly, man. That is so silly. Like, if you want to play different types, if you want to, like, I'm not saying that, like, every cool item should be locked behind PvP. And if every cool item was locked behind PvP, that would suck. But, like, that's not what's happening. There's a few other things that you can get from PvP. I think that's cool. Who the fuck cares?
We'll
Right.
see how that pans
Oh,
out, but it seems
God.
like, of course, there is going to be a wide variety of option on how to get different cosmetics. Just like
Somebody says you'd rather pay money than to get good, bro. I'm gonna be real. Like, anything, like, it's a cosmetic, okay? So, like, cosmetics that denote skill, like a gladiator mount or whatever, they don't matter to me if I don't play that game or I don't care about that type of gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, I can appreciate it, sure, good job, man, but, like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So, like, because somebody has a PvP cosmetic, I'm not, like, I don't care. Like, I don't do PvP, so, like,
Exactly. And there are certain things that you're not going to do that other people do, and they're going to get the reward, and you're not. And if you really want to do it or get the reward, then you got to do it. So, and tough shit. Like, because then what about the people that only like PvP or really want to PvP? You know, it's not, you don't just cater to, like, the PvE fucking Care Bears, you know, like, you can't, especially in, like, you know, an MMO. You need PvP. Like, it's the whole reason people play PvP. Look at Classic Era and how popular it is. People like PvP. Contrary to the fucking, you know, losers on the forums that only post, you know, the PvPers are out there fucking PvPing. The fucking PvE losers who don't want to PvP are on the forums crying about it. That's the difference.
good for them. I'm happy for them. Yeah, it's just, it's nuts,
That's
man.
the
PvP
difference.
should have great cosmetics. Yeah, they should have good cosmetics for PvP. Absolutely.
If you don't want to
Yeah.
fucking PvP, too bad.
God damn.
let's see if the PvP zones
play Hello
have
Kitty
the
online.
absolute best looking cosmetic items for it.
But I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to say it. Don't care about cosmetics. Do I throw a fit on mounts of WoW, not skins in Diablo? Now, I'll have to tell you guys, you can do a gotcha moment like that, and I will respond to it, but it will cost you your account. You'll get permabanned. So just keep that in mind. If you want to do a gotcha moment like that, it costs you your account. Let me explain the difference. Diablo 4 is buy to play. World of Warcraft is not. It's a subscription-based game. I think that with the addition of a subscription, you should not have to expect to have microtransactions as well. I think it's double dipping. So because Diablo 4 is continuously developed and it does not have a recurring fee, I am more okay with cosmetics in Diablo 4
That's kind of true and not, especially if you do the expansions. You're going to have to pay to play the expansion, but I guess that's fair.
than I am in World of Warcraft. That's the reason. It's completely logical.
Unless it's just all copied
but yes,
dungeons.
again, the gotcha questions like that do cost you your account.
Next up, we have rune words is something they think is interesting, but it's so deep they haven't figured out how to put it in the game yet.
That'd be great.
When
I
they
hope they
say
do.
this sort of thing, it makes me think that that sort of feature would most likely come with a season as an experiment, just to see how it might work out. And if people hate it, they won't include it in the game in the long term. And if people love it, they would probably bring it back. Or they might want to throw it into one of the expansions because it sounds like a very big undertaking to include something like that. They don't want to mess up the flow of what they've currently built.
Sure.
Next up, we have this one. Class he would like to see in the future. Refused to answer, LOL. Likes the 5 classes currently and would love to create a class
That's great.
Diablo has
Yes.
never seen
I'm all
before.
for that.
I feel like we
I love that. Make a new class. Get everybody excited about the new class. Don't bring back the old ones. At least not yet. I love that. The one thing I loved about WoW was coming to the new expansion, and seeing a new class and being able to play that new class and experience, you know, something new. Love that. I love that. I don't know if Asmon's going to agree with that, but I love that. I think that's great. It makes it fresh. I would come back and play that class. Just saying.
need to have a holy damage character.
Melee or Death Knight. Death Knight, Death Knight, Death Knight. Okay, thank you.
How is this even a question? What the fuck are we talking about? we have a rate, like we have every single other archetype. We have the mage archetype, we have the archer archetype, we have the rogue archetype, like the dagger archetype, we have the barbarian archetype, we have the druid archetype, we have the necromancer archetype. The only one that we don't have is a fucking paladin or a crusader or a cleric or something like that.
Death Knight.
I don't get it. Like, I think paladin is like,
A full healer would be actually insane. And then it would, like, you could definitely do like raiding and shit, which would be really cool. That'd be really cool. That's like thinking way ahead though.
it's one of the most like iconic classes in a in an RPG. How do you not have a paladin at all? That's so weird. I think they should. I don't think they should bring back
I don't think that's weird.
Crusader because they just had Crusader. I think they should do paladin. What about monk?
No.
I'd like to see paladin more.
Love it. So it sounds like
I want to see a new
that's
class.
the direction they're heading
Death
in
Knight.
when it comes to new classes. I
Death
hope
Knight.
that's the case for the 6th class. We'll have to
Mhm.
wait and see, but it would be really, really cool to see something extremely fresh, new. You know, I've seen your comments from my previous videos, and overall, you guys would love a brand new, fresh class.
Yes.
Because, yes, nostalgia is great, of course. Would love to see some stuff like the Paladin return.
Yeah, that's what I
one
want.
thing that, man, that'd be cool. As well as the Monk. I personally really like the Monk. I know some of you guys are like, oh, I hate the Monk.
I was not a fan.
But, yeah, it would be
Sure,
cool
Quinn
if they
likes
did
Monk.
something completely unknown. Surprise us. That's what I really, really want from the next class. All right, so we got to talk about some invaluable tips that were posted by Wowhead. You guys have got to check these out before you actually play. Let's
Death
get into
Knight.
those
Yeah,
right
Death
now,
Knight would
shall
be
we?
cool.
So, check it out. Let's talk about the campaign and open world progression. It says, well, we're all excited about the campaign and storyline of Diablo 4. The real meat of the game is the end game. Absorbing the story while making your way through the campaign quickly is key. Now, it says many systems such as mounts, renown, altars of Lilith are count-wide unlocks, making them key systems to interact with for anyone looking to play alts. That's extremely important to remember right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it goes on to say,
That's actually crazy. That's crazy. The out of sync thing.
this, make sure your party's campaign progress is in
Okay, that is the seller event. The sellers is bullshit. I did every seller in fucking Act 1. I didn't get dick for nothing. That shit is bullshit.
sync. You don't receive quests.
I do get a
or
lot of
quests
experience, though,
never
maybe.
done. You're out of sync. Having the party leader be the player with the least progression in the campaign can fix
We basically started skipping a lot after Act 1.
this. The more
Yeah.
you know. Now, sellers and events are actually
We're gonna go
worth
back
your
now that we
time.
have the
You
mount.
have a high
But
chance of
after the
dropping your
campaign,
loot.
it's
Oh
complete.
yeah, you should always do sellers and events. You get obolos, you get gems, and it also gives you experience. Is literally what it says there. But like, I learned the same thing from playing the game. Yeah,
Also
all that
gems
makes
and
sense,
quite a bit of
especially
experience.
since
Remember,
they buff
adjusted the
sellers.
big time for the server slam, and they were definitely worth going into. So don't miss out on actually heading into sellers, because they've actually kind of included some dungeon type events in there as well. But yeah, check them out. Next up,
I
yeah,
still think they can make sellers way more interesting. Like, have like a 1% chance. Like, whenever you enter a cellar, it's like a massive fucking
Loot goblins.
a massive fucking thing. Like, it's a whole different dungeon.
have this one
Or
right
just like
here.
loot
Entering a
goblins,
new
too.
region, by the way, change the location of your town portal.
If you give incentive like Loot Goblin, like Insano in there, like all the goblins just went in there and hoarded like a ton of gold and whatever, and they're all in there. You kill them, before they run away, and there's like 10 loot goblins. Or like, like he said, like it leads to another dungeon, like secret dungeon, or like the KFC, the chicken level. Be really
And
cool.
quickly make it to the
It
zone.
give people
Major
incentive to go down.
town This way before
Yeah, or it's just a butcher
waypoints
there,
are unlocked.
waiting for
so
you.
that's really cool.
That'd be fine.
So of course we
Butcher
only
there
have
would
to
be good too.
explore the Fractured Peaks location and have that center town portal, of course. So each region is going to have
Yeah,
that
that's the
same
cow
kind
level.
of system. So once you cross the border, it's going to switch over to teleporting you to that town center within that specific region.
Sure, that makes sense.
Right. So furthermore, it says this. Claim your renown rewards. Don't forget to do this. It's easy to forget for some reason. Doing almost anything in a zone earns renown, and this earns you skill and Paragon points, crucial to the leveling process. So yes, I
Yeah.
don't think some people realize that.
I don't know if we're
renown-
like losing renown, but so in Act 1, you can't unlock the last two unless you have what's it called? World Tier 3. And I don't think you unlock that till after you beat the campaign or something. So I don't know. I did a lot of stuff in the first zone. I'm wondering if that screwed me over or not. I guess we'll find out.
Can actually get you more Paragon points. So the more you know, really pay attention to your renown. There's many ways you can actually earn renown. One of the biggest ways, of course, is clearing strongholds, going into dungeons, as well as clearing
I think I'll try to clear some of the strongholds while I'm leveling. Like, I'm just going to do what's convenient. Like, I don't want to try to go and, like, fucking make... This is not an MLG... I'm not trying to do trick shots, okay? I'm just trying to play the game.
And mainly doing side activity. In fact, what I would do is if you enter a new town and you see a bunch of blue exclamation points, those are your side quests that you could tackle. Accept every single one of them before going on your main quest line, because you're going to accidentally be running into those side quests as you explore. I highly recommend doing that. Just going grabbing every single quest before exploring, going to a new dungeon or what have you. It's definitely worth it. You'll be earning renown everywhere accidentally.
Level 10. Wow.
I have to highlight this tip. It is so important. It's so simple. It's in your options menu. Turn on advanced tooltip information and advanced tooltip compare. This is going to help you a lot understand if your aspect that you actually have right now is at its minimum value or its maximum, and you could really find out how good your aspects actually are. That is super important. So whatever you do, I highly recommend turning that on no matter what. All right. So yes, I did a recent video called this one right here. Here it is. The day one update, new patch changes for Necromancer, Druid, and much more. Check out the video if you want to find out what is changing with the day one patch, which, by the way, if you preloaded the game already, you've already downloaded the day one patch. But there are some really noteworthy changes.
I downloaded that update last night. So
let's see what you guys had to say about it. Let's get into it. So, Couch Guy Yin says this. Hopeful when the Necro summons Golem, he also has the Ring of Power with him. I would love...
No, bro, like, the Necro doesn't summon anything because Blizzard borked Necros, and the only good builds for Necromancers are the ones without minions. So the difference between a Necromancer and a Sorcerer is the Necromancer moves slower and does less damage. Very fun!
This. I would love to name my Golem also Smeagol. Make it happen. See what Blizzard can do for us. And Philip says this right here. Happy to see some more news. I'm going in semi-blind to my build since I played a bit during the beta and Server Slam. I have somewhat of an idea what I think might work. It seems like a bunch of you are also going to be doing this. It's fine if you want to read up on build guides and kind of like build guides, excuse me.
Yes.
And kind of figure out what you want to do as you go through the skill tree.
It'll change your experience.
I think a lot of us just want to like explore ourselves, you know, explore the open world ourselves, explore the skill tree ourselves.
You do until the mobs get difficult, and then you're like, wait, why is my build not optimal? And then you start playing the optimal build, and you're like, okay, this feels good again.
Figure it out. You know, there's something exciting about that, seeing stuff for the first time, like the Paragon board, and getting into it yourself. And yes, some of us might make mistakes, but that's what is kind of a...
He kind of sounds like the actor from Bad Santa. What's his name?
I'm hyped
What's wrong with that?
Let's keep going. Vincent says this. When I play, I would like to focus on playing the game and the story.
I don't know about
During
that guy.
the beta, I had to stop and read all the skills, all the gear, etc. I used build planning as a way to familiarize myself with all the things and give me a rough outline of the path I'm probably going to take so I could spend less time reading mechanics and more time playing the game. So there is a different side of the coin. That actually makes a lot of sense when you say it in that way, where you can actually be more knowledgeable before you even head into the game, so you can sit back, relax, and actually enjoy and embrace the story, enjoy the world. Dude, that makes a lot of sense as well. I love that take.
I don't know why. Like, there's always this conversation about, like, is it a good idea to look shit up ahead of time? Holy fuck. Do it if you want to do it. Don't do it if you don't want to do it. I'm so fucking sick of hearing about this. Jesus.
That's definitely an interesting take for sure. But let me know which side of the fence you're
I
on. If you're
spaced
going in
out.
semi-blind. if you're going in
Oh,
completely
yeah.
blind to
Neither
this one,
are
or if
fundamentally
you have your build
superior to
already
each other.
fully planned out. All right, so there it is. The latest happenings
The
around
only,
Diablo.
the only one that's inferior is doing the one that you don't want to do because people say you should be doing it.
Yeah, true.
That's the only one. That's the only type of gameplay that's inferior. What do you think about charging $70 for a game, having an end-game store, which means all the good cosmetics will be stripped from the game you buy, but behind a paywall? Battle Pass is somewhat okay, but what do you think? Well, you're not asking what we think. You're asking people to agree with you. Number two, it's objectively not true that all of the good cosmetics are in the store.
It's probably true, except for the end of the tier, the battle pass. It's usually how it always is. But yeah, I haven't seen
Like,
it, so I don't know.
This is like an objectively untrue statement because I played the game. It's just not true. So, like, what are you doing?
Diablo 4. Stay tuned for more updates. It is mere hours away from the launch of the game. I'm so hyped. So yes, I cannot wait. Have everything prepared over here. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.
All right, I think that's pretty fair.
That was a good video. Yeah, I think I'll definitely probably play that 6th class, but I don't have faith much else, judging from my personal experience right now. I would say that the game is not worth $70. I would say the story is good, and I think Blizzard always does a good job with cutscenes and that sort of thing. So yeah, if you're looking for a good game with a good story, then yeah, it's worth it. But it's very quick. If you don't do the side quests and all that, and find every dungeon and do every dungeon and every cellar and really explore the map and the world, is a very quick game. It took me longer to 100% or near 100% Act 1 than it did to do Acts 2, 3, and 4. So just putting that into perspective. But yes, cinematics and story are very good. They always are usually pretty good. And that's about it. I still think that the dungeons are very repetitive. They're different names, same layouts. At least in each, I didn't do a lot of them in Acts 2, 3, and 4. But in Act 1, it's and maybe it's a similar theme for the other acts. Similar dungeons, different names. You know, you have 4 to 8 different dungeons. Types or maps, and then yeah, they're all the same basically, just different name. So yeah, I'll have more of an opinion, once I actually finish the campaign and see everything. But for now, I'm Treyeangowls. Thank you guys for watching. Trey Love, and I'll see you guys later.